Hi all, what's goody? I'm back with another one. What's happening, fam? How are you guys doing? What's good? What's happening in your lives? I'm back at it with another one, and today we're gonna just discuss the mistakes that I had made earlier on in my corporate life, in my career life, and I'm gonna give you tips on how to avoid those mistakes because guys.
Oh Lord. Again. Again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
I'm telling you, character development. You will get character development if you don't learn. It is 2023. Why are you letting yourself be played by corpo? So let me be your information plug. Let me give you my experience, lessons, helpful tips, what to do. So you just grab your popcorn or whatever you're eating, grab a snack, grab a glass of wine, juice, tea, whatever you're having, porridge, soup, and relax. Let me give you some tips on how to navigate your career and not make the same mistakes that I did. So the first things first is that first of all, I've worked for 3 years. I have worked as a customer support agent and I've done recruitment and I've also have done HR administration, but I'm still pretty much new to the HR administration aspect of HR, but I've done recruitment and I've done customer support for a long time. And my experience is that it's been a roller coaster where I've had a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And I learned first of all that I was making the mistake of downplaying my value. I would enter into negotiations when accepting contracts, and I just accepted what came quickly, and it really came back to bite me in the ass long term. Second is that I didn't take the time to really understand what I was getting myself into. I didn't ask the questions deeply. I didn't ask questions deeply as I should. I should have inquired from the recruiter everything in detail, but I didn't. I think I had that anxiety of just having the bills paid, and also I think having a career after graduating, especially for someone that has been raised in a traditional household of where you have to get your education first, career, then probably getting married and all those other things in life. I think also I just wanted to have a job just to say that I have a job in Europe. And I don't know, I just really never questioned, why am I accepting this role? How are these benefits going to work for me? I never really sat down and thought those things. So eventually I ended up realizing that first of all, I invested so much energy and got very little appreciation or rewards for it. My career growth didn't go as quick as I intended it to go. I also found myself going the extra mile of overperforming and getting back little, and it ended up giving me burnout. It ended up giving me resentment. It ended up giving me I just felt like quiet quitting. I was never even proactive in team activities, and so I had to really step back and realize I need to make a change and negotiate and put me first, and I need to really think things through without rushing, and I need to understand the finer prints of my contract. So the first thing is that I didn't seek advice. I should have sought advice. I should have asked people that have worked before, like, hi, how did this work out for you? When you were in this situation, what did you take into account? I never really sought advice from my peers, from friends. I just, I think there's this human nature where we unconsciously know what we are doing. So I never asked or did the research from my relatives. I never asked my friends. I also have friends that have had many experience working in corpo, and I never really just asked. I should have asked. And so I would say seek advice, know what the contract entails, what role you're going to do, what is your role in the growth of the company, what career goals or career path is this role gonna give you, is being loyal to this company gonna pay off in the long run, or is being loyal to this company not going to give back the investment that I put. Also, what is the reputation for this company? Do I know this company very well? So you need to seek advice. Also, you can use LinkedIn to seek advice. I think also LinkedIn has a lot of people that give a lot of topics or insights on negotiating your contracts, your roles, your salary. The people have a lot of valuable information. And actually, I had an experience just as recent as this Friday where I was doing an interview, and then just after I did the interview, I read a LinkedIn post and I was like, oh my gosh, I should have read this before the interview, but I didn't. I just went for it. I didn't do the research on things to ask, but it's not too late because I'm still in my I'm still interviewing for jobs and I'm still looking at what works for me. So I'm utilizing LinkedIn to the best of my capacity. Also, it's good to go to Glassdoor and read the reviews from former employees. How is the culture working there like? What is the turnover rate? What are they laying people off? Because if you're not living in a ghost world, right, you are aware that there's been a trend of mass layoffs. So you have to be careful not to sign a contract and then in 3 months having to start looking for a new job. Especially now with the inflation, you really have to make sure that you're getting yourself well. It's good to also sometimes connect with the employees of that company and seek advice as well. It will help you. Second is avoiding difficult conversations. This one, I think, I don't know, but for me, it really hits home. I used to please people a lot, and I used to avoid discussing uncomfortable conversation for the fear of not looking bad. I should have asked questions like, how soon should I expect a bonus? How soon should I expect a raise? Do I have to work for 1 year to get that raise, or do I have to complete a certain project to be eligible for a raise? Or maybe am I eligible to get a raise after my probation period when my contract is being extended? Also, like, how is my career going to look like? Am I going to stay in the same position, or am I going to get to be a team leader at a certain time? For example, I value getting health insurance, but what other benefits am I getting? Because there's a lot of competition in other companies. Some companies are giving people cars, some companies are giving people goodie packs, or people are getting, like, I don't know, gifts for every milestone they hit. So what is there? What are you going to offer me to stand out from the competition? Of course, also, how does my contract look like? Am I contracting, or am I a direct employee? As a contractor, what sort of benefits will I get? Because I know direct employees, for example, are automatically entitled to company benefits. So if I'm contracting for your company, what on top of salary plus health insurance should I have gotten? And then after you just ask those uncomfortable questions, like, how does this salary bonus meetings look like? How is there, like, equal pay for, based on gender? Like, these questions that help you to know, like, if you should proceed with the company or not. And a lot of the times I was being guilt-tripped internally myself with the fact that if I ask that question, they may probably look at me as problematic person. This is what I was telling myself. I'm probably, I'm going to blow away this opportunity by asking certain questions, which was not necessarily the truth. So I chose to keep quiet about those questions, and then 6 months later or 8 months later, I'm like, it's time to renew my contract and I've not seen the bonus. It's time to renew my contract and I only got $200 or $50 as a raise. So I definitely set myself up in a lot of situations, and I've learned from that experience. The next thing is boundaries. Boundaries. You should be able to set clear boundaries for yourself. I personally didn't set boundaries for myself, in that I always went the extra mile of taking extra responsibilities. And I thought that by overperforming and burning myself, I would actually work like for 9 hours sometimes, or even 10 hours, or on a weekend I would start working, and I just realized that I'm not getting so much rewards. And for some people, they do enjoy that. So I'm not trying to say that it's a bad thing to do overtime for yourself. You can always do overtime if you want, if your career demands you to put the extra hours. Like, for example, I would say, like, let's say in recruitment, there are times where only candidates are available after a certain time, so your role involves you to put in some hours to be a little bit flexible to the candidates' availability in order to screen them. But sometimes also doing some things in the long term can end up burning you out. So you need to set a clear boundary. Like, I start my shift at 9 a.m. I am available until 11 a.m. and I will have a small 15-minute break. And at this time, this is the time that I will go for my break, and nobody should schedule a meeting. Same for lunch. I don't want anyone to schedule a meeting for my lunch. After 5 p.m., it is my time to log off. If I need to stay overtime, then make sure that it is compensated. Don't work for free. Sometimes, if it is just genuine passion that you don't have anything to do and your career is your passion and you want to just give the time to that, or maybe you are a head of department and you have a lot of things to do and it involves overtime, I think this is completely up to you, and it is completely okay. I shall not judge and say that it is unhealthy, but just remember to prioritize a healthy work-life balance. That is the point. So yeah, make sure you set clear boundaries, and it is not just regarding the tasks that you take. It's also the volume of the tasks. If you're on vacation, don't allow yourself to attend meetings, because I've had a situation where I had clearly told my manager, it was a freelance gig on Upwork. It was actually a valuable experience. I'm just trying to remember. So I remember my time at Upwork, and I remember there was a company that employed me, and I had clearly told them that I will be on vacation. Or for 1 week, I will be out of the country. I shall not be available. And what happened? I got blasted for missing a meeting during my vacation. So I just ended up leaving this offer, not because I didn't agree with that, but there was also other factors, but that is also one of the reasons why, because I'm very huge on having boundaries. Like, I shouldn't be expected to work on my vacation time. I shouldn't be expected to show up when it's my time off. I can volunteer, but that is from my own accord, my own will. But it shouldn't be that I am being punished for, especially after I clearly communicated that I will be on off, and you're using that against me. That is not fair for an employee. It is not healthy. So make sure that you have clear boundaries. I will be off on this time. I will choose to work on these projects because this is what my contract says. I will choose to work with this contract and expect a permanent contract or an indefinite contract after 3 months. I expect this amount of money by said time. I expect this career progression by said time. All these things are conversations that you should have with your manager during your one-to-ones, but I didn't for some reason. So don't be like, do not neglect continuous learning. Learning is always important. Learning can be from the smallest things to the biggest things. So I know that I'm always learning, so I cannot say that I neglected learning. But there have been situations where people that overperformed or overdid the research got rewarded more or quicker than me. So I would say Also take the time to do some upskill yourself, and take advantage of all the available resources to progress in your career. Make sure that, for example, if it is your team members, ask them questions. If it is online on LinkedIn, there's always courses on LinkedIn which you can access to upskill yourself. And I promise you that it will be rewarding. Also, I know that for financial services, there's always training for ACA certification, ACCA, ACA. This is a very important certificate in financial services. So if you're in a financial services line, I would advise you to research on ACA certificates. Maybe you can also find a third-party company that can give you this certificate if your company does not offer this. Other than that, I also failed to set clear career goals. I did not set career goals. I also just didn't have like a vision, like, okay, I'm accepting this position, but I just didn't think like, okay, from after 3 years, I want to become a senior, as a mid-level. For after that, senior. Then after that, I'll become a team leader. For you, I would say make sure that if you're an intern, ask questions. After intern position, will I get this junior position? What junior position entails? How many years will you work as a junior? Then afterwards, mid-level, then afterwards, senior, then expert. If you want to become team leader, you do that. So set define those career paths for yourself first, then let your, the recruiter know during the interview process, or even if you're within the company, just let your manager know. Lastly, understand your contracts. Guys, I've had awkward situations before where I had not clearly understood my contract. What? And then I ended up having to fix that at a much later stage, and it was not a really good look on me. So I've learned, every time I get a contract, I read read the finer prints, read everything. I also have read, like, I remember I signed a contract that said that I work, it was also a freelance part-time job, and it was I work from Friday to Sunday. And I remember this company called me to work on Tuesdays too.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
And I used to tell the manager, like, I'm not supposed to be working on Tuesdays. But they couldn't really be okay with that. So I also had to let go of that company because they were breaching their own contracts, which they had clearly I'm not even the one that asked for that Friday to Sunday. It's them. So they put Friday to Sunday. That was the job that I applied for. And then when it came to now actually working, I just ended up working more than I was supposed to. So read your contracts thoroughly, seek clarifications, ask the recruiter or the hiring manager, this clause says this, why is it like that? What does this mean? Ask. Sometimes I advocate for AI, and I would say sometimes there are some words that can be too complex to understand, so you can ask a lawyer, ask any online experts on contracts, or you can also read it slowly, and then the complex stuff, use chat, like you can prompt ChatGPT to explain it in simpler terms, what this means. Or sometimes if I don't understand even in simpler form, I just ask ChatGPT to explain it like it's explaining to a baby, and it makes it really easy, extremely easy to understand. So read it and understand it, and then also look at the pitfalls. Because you could, for example, your contract could say you're not allowed to work for another company as an accountant. You're not allowed to work for another company as an AML officer. You're not allowed to work as a recruiter for another company. You're not allowed to do customer support for another company. And you don't want that to come to bite you back in the ass. I swear, living in Poland, and mind you, I'm a native English speaker, But my English, like every time, because I'm currently learning Polish and Spanish, but my English, guys, it's not giving. It is not. I don't know, just living in a country where I'm not speaking so much English all the time, because I have to change languages to Polish sometimes, or Spanish, because I'm also intermediate in Spanish, so I'm always speaking in Spanish sometimes. So my English, this is bad. I'm embarrassing Kenyans. I'm embarrassing Kenyans. Anyway, that's not the point of the video. So yeah, if your contract tells you like you will be fined 30,000 euros for breaching, then understand that. I remember there's a company I worked for, they sent an email to the entire company telling us of somebody that had and I was not I wasn't working in HR, and I was in customer support. And I remember there's a colleague that accidentally leaked information on social media. And I remember it was such a big thing. They had called the police on this person, and this person was gonna pay a fine of a lot of thousands of euros for just violating. So make sure that you're following everything in your contract so you don't get into trouble with your employer. The confidentiality, the non-competition agreements, the intellectual property rights, etc. It even happens, sometimes you even see our favorite musicians, the Megan Thee Stallions, they are going through lawsuits because they didn't read their contracts properly. You guys, if you listen to rap, pop rap, you know Megan Thee Stallion probably. So she has this case ongoing where she didn't read her contract properly with her record label, and she had to go to court to get out of this contract. So make sure you read your contract so it doesn't come to, and it doesn't even have to be like a serious implication, but even though, like, if you don't read your contract, you could end up overworking yourself, doing more than you're supposed to. You'd end up giving more time for free. You might end up giving too much or too little, or underperforming when you're supposed to overperform. Or sometimes even you're supposed to have, for example, a certain document, and your contract says this, and you don't have it, it will kind of come to bite you in the apple. But yeah, or sometimes you could be fired for just violating your contract. So make sure you understand. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. See you on the next one. I hope I explained everything well. I know I look crazy. This is Sunday morning, and I just woke up a couple of minutes ago, so if I'm not looking all presentable today, I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me. Please subscribe to the channel, subscribe, comment. Maybe there is something that I missed out and you might have something to put, so comment, like, subscribe. Let's get this channel to 1K. Let's get to 1K. That is the goal. Thank you. Cheers.